What's going on, everybody? Back again for another episode of Sunday Reset with Will and Friends. And today, I would like to introduce my friend Raheel Siddiqui. He's a motivational and keynote speaker, a podcaster, and transformation expert, having lost over 200 pounds. Yeah, you heard that right. 200 pounds. Raheel, welcome to the show.
Hey, Will, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And sometimes it doesn't feel real, but yes, thank you so much for the intro. Really excited and really thankful, really fired up to be here. So thank you.
No, I appreciate it, man. Of course. I mean, you're such an inspiration. And look, as someone who himself is going, I've gone not 200 pounds, but I'm down a little over 30 pounds. And I've
Awesome.
been on a
Congratulations.
mission.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And it's been a journey, And so I got to ask, what was the beginning phases of that like for you when you were like, okay, I got to make a change here? Because 200 pounds is a considerable amount. It's a considerable mountain. So in the beginning phases of that, what happened to get you going?
Yeah, for sure. No, thanks. That's a great question, man. So, honestly, it's kind of crazy. Like, when I look back at it, it's when I started the journey. Well, I guess even previously too, I was pretty much overweight my entire life, from like birth, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, post college. And I guess, man, when you're young, I feel like when you're young, you just don't think, man. I don't know how about you, my brother, but like seriously, I just don't think you really think as much, especially when you're a young dude. I think my wife tells me I still have a hard time thinking. It hurts my head sometimes. She likes to tease me about it because she's like, "You're a dude, it hurts your head when you think sometimes." But just yeah. So I know, right? Tell me about it. I know she can be witty too sometimes, but no. But all jokes aside, man, yeah, no, it was crazy. So I guess the weight kept piling up, and I think it sounds cliche, but it's true. I was just really ignorant. So what I mean by that is, high school, college, post college, hanging out with the guys, going out on weekends, partying, and then late night eating. And then also, before I get to the real story of how the turning point happened, I think the weight also piled on because of not being aware, not being accountable, not being able to look in the mirror and tell myself the truth. And that's as honest as I can be. I didn't want to admit that I had a problem. And that's where it really stemmed from. And I think this is what I train and I help people and I speak about heavily. It's the hardest step in this journey of any fitness journey, of any health journey, or any wellness journey. Forget the diet, forget the exercise. It's you got to look yourself in the mirror and you have to say, I have a problem. Forget it all, man. Forget everything else. But if you can't have the courage to admit that you have a problem, everything else, none of it is going to matter. So, leading up to that, if I may, so my father, he came downstairs one Saturday morning. I was 405 pounds. Fast forward 27 years old, January 2010. And he just looked at me one day and he was like, man, I'm getting really concerned. And he was a pharmacist and I worked for my dad. So, he was always about the health conscious, very health conscious person. And I had two older siblings and they never had any weight issues. Like, knock on wood, they grew up tall and I guess whatever the relative term, thin, healthy, XYZ, but it was just me. So he was like, look, I want to take you to the doctor, get some blood work done. Let me get you checked out because God forbid, I don't want something happening to you. So I said, okay, let's go. Got my blood work done, went to go see the doctor, and I'm smiling because I still remember like it was yesterday. Doctor walked in with a folder in his hand, had the results of my blood work with my father and I right in front of us, had the folder, flipped the pages of the folder, flip the pages of the results, of the folder, closed the folder, threw it on the counter, looked at my dad and I and said, it doesn't matter what these results say. Your son's going to be dead by the time he's 40 anyways, and we're just wasting our time being here. And that was it. Oh, I mean, couple thoughts. I think the first thought was, well, I'm definitely not giving you a 5-star review.
That brings a whole different definition to the word bedside manner.
I'm
Jesus.
telling you, man. I'm telling you, stone cold, man, stone cold. And so then my dad and the doctor went off to the side for a minute and chatted, and that was it. Fastest doctor's visit, man. I'm telling you, my man, it wasn't even like 5 minutes, barely 3. And then my father and I left. Till this day, I think the craziest part is I never knew my scores. I never knew my cholesterol, my blood pressure, my hemoglobin, my sugar. And the whole point of going to the doctor to get these results is to see where we need to improve on, right? Especially if we're struggling in a certain area. That's the whole point of getting this evaluation done. He was like, screw it. You're not going to make it. So what's the point of wasting my time? That was it. So I think the turning point now is my father and I were driving home one day, or I'm sorry, that same day from the doctor's office. We're driving home. About halfway home, my father looked at me. He said, hey, listen, I need you to pull the car over. I said, why? Is everything okay? He said, yes, just pull the car over right now. And my father had a very soft-spoken voice, nothing like me, very soft-spoken, very smooth. But in that moment, that volume went all the way up. And He was like, "Pull it over right now." I said, "Okay." Pull the car over on the middle of the highway. He looked dead into my eyes and he was like, "Listen, this isn't a game. I'm running out of time, but you still have time. I won't be there to see you get married. I won't be there to see you have kids, okay? But you still have time. You have to take this seriously. And you know what? You have to promise me that you are going to do this. We are not driving home until you promise me that you take this seriously." And I'm a dad now too, and I know we were just talking about, fatherhood too. The thing is, man, like, when you're a dad, kids, etc., it's kind of like in one ear and out the other, right? When parents lecture their kids. But that was the first time in my life, Will, where I had my father had tears down his eyes and the pain was like really crushing him. And on top of that, he was dealing with a lot of health issues himself. He had a liver issue that was really bothering him. So whatever it was in that moment, man, he was like, "Look, this is probably like my last chance maybe to get through to my son, and I'm gonna take it." So I said, "Okay, Dad, just don't cry. I promise. I promise you I will take this seriously. Just don't cry." He said, "Okay, you promised me." So put the car in drive and we went home. And then before I let you turn it back to you for a second, I just remember getting home. And in that moment, I'm like, you know what? What the hell just happened? I woke up Saturday morning and I'm thinking I'm going to go hang out with my friends. And now we're here a few days later. The doctor tells me I'm not going to make it in 13 years. My father tells me he's not going to be there to see me get married or see me have kids. I'm 405 pounds. I'm 27 years old. I am in a dark hole right now. What happened and where do we go from here?
There's so much to unpack with all of that. And I think the part that stands out to me the most is while I got a kick out of hearing you say no 5-star Yelp review for that doctor. I got to think now, maybe in hindsight, is it possible that that's the kind of wake up call you and your father needed?
100%, without a doubt. Funniest thing is I just saw him, that doctor, I just saw him a few weeks ago, so he's still around. And him and I talk, and he was like, "Your dad will be."
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's, sometimes I struggle with this as a concept as someone who advocates for mental health and stuff is that, I want to believe that people can change without needing to hit rock bottom. But more often than not, I think you need the rock bottom moment or you need some type of catalyst to inspire the change because it's very hard. We're human beings. We get caught up in the inertia and the moments, and before you know it, like you said, you didn't just wake up one day and weigh over 400 pounds.
Uh-huh.
You gradually got there, slowly but surely, based on just living your life. And the next thing you knew, you're like, wait a minute, what the hell's happening? And they're going to
Uh-huh.
tell me I'm going to be dead in 13 years. You know, you didn't go into it every meal thinking every time I eat this extra piece of cake or whatever it was,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be shortening my life. You didn't go into it but that eye-opening moment. So do you look back now and think maybe you would give them a 5-star review?
Oh, 100%. I mean, he saved my life. I mean, without a doubt. And I think knowing how he is now too, and I think the mindset that he had was like, "Look, I can come in here and probably read all of your scores and tell you your blood pressure is this and tell you your sugar is this and tell you your cholesterol is this." But would it have helped? Would it have mattered? Right? And we just talked about in one ear and out the other. And to be honest with you, probably not. I probably would have been like, "Okay, well, whatever." Because I think it stems back to what we talked about earlier. I think I was just young. And I think that's the problem that I really try to help young people today, like teenagers that I talk to, college students. Like, listen, if you want to set yourself up for success for your future, the time is now. And that goes for a lot of elements in your life, right? Relationships,
Your
career,
finances. I mean,
finances,
good,
exactly,
good
100%.
Lord.
Your
If I
health.
could go
I
back,
mean, me too, man. Me too. You know how much money you mentioned cake. First of all, you know how much money I've spent on and piggybacking off that off a pizza. Clearly, I'm from New York. I was born and raised. I had 405 pounds on me, Will. About 300 of it was probably pizza, bro. I'm not even kidding you. Pizza is
yeah.
still my Achilles heel, man. The Ninja Turtles, man. Like literally, I felt like I was one of them. So without a doubt, it starts right now. And I think that was the problem. I was just young. I was ignorant. I was oblivious. I could not look myself in the mirror and tell myself the truth. And that was the biggest problem before anything else.
Yeah, there's the old adage, youth is wasted on the young. And I think the thing that switched it for me is someone reframe because when you're young, I think the problem is you're like, I have this whole extended life. Never mind the fact that like you could die young and all of that for any number of
Uh-huh.
reasons. But like we look at it as like, generally speaking, on average, we're gonna live a long time. We're gonna live forever. It might as well
Uh-huh.
be, you
Uh-huh.
know? Um, the thing that someone said to me when I was in my mid like to late 20s that like really resonated, they said, you are now, right now, the youngest you will ever be again. Like, this is it.
100%. Mhm.
Like, it's not getting like, this is not you're not appreciating time anywhere. You
Mhm.
are in this moment. You talked about fatherhood, like, so, you can think about the things like changing a diaper,
Mhm.
but you're only gonna have so many diaper changes, and then they will never ask you for that again.
That's it. That's it. 100% right.
So it's like, okay, now you have this pivotal moment, you realize something's gotta change.
Mhm.
But my man, I mean, you eventually lose 200 pounds, but you just at the beginning, I assume, are gonna just try and get healthier and better. But like, what does starting even look like when you know you have this massive mountain to climb?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So then the journey began, right? So then I tried on my own that January. I went to the local field, went to my local college. I even joined a local gym. I thought it was all going to work and it didn't. I kept quitting. I kept quitting because when you've been a quitter your whole life, all you know is what? Is quitting. So I tried that for months, tried and failed. But the one promise that I made to my father, I think that's what I was able to hold on to. So I still at least kept trying, even though I wasn't getting the results. At least the switch kind of flipped somewhat, right? But I think the turning point was where May 2010, one of my really close friends, he was like, "Hey, listen, man, a state of the art gym had just built. Why don't you come join with us, man? I got a lot of our guys, a lot of our core group of friends, they're joining. It'll be fun. We can hang out together. We can play ball together because we used to play a lot of pickup ball, basketball, football. So, I mean, it was just such a really good idea. He's like, man, just join with us. It'll be fun. And in that moment, like we talked about it, Will, I tried everything else. What else do I have to lose at this point, man? I mean, right? Everything else I'm trying on my own, it wasn't working. So I was like, okay, cool. So I ended up joining the gym. And if we talk about walls, it's going to come up here in a second because they come fast, right? So, May 2010, I go on in there, and what do I see? I see a sign. It says Team Weight Loss Class. It's a class for people just like me. I mean, literally, the class is Team Weight Loss Class, a class for 3 days a week where you can come start your journey and then, really trying to help give you like that jump start per se for your health and fitness goals. Took that class and then started building momentum. And then from May 2010 to May 2011, I mean, I became a monster. I lost my first 150 pounds in 1 year. So, man, I was rolling. I mean, finally, I felt like
You're
everything
like a
that
walking endorsement for that program.
I'm telling you, like literally, yeah, exactly. They even put a billboard up on me for the first three months talking about I was like a
Hell, I
fast
would too.
right, fast track person, this and that. So I was rolling, man. I was feeling great. And I think this is the really critical piece that I really want the audience to understand is I was feeling great. Okay. 150 pounds. My father, he was on cloud 900, not cloud nine. Your youngest son, he finally took that promise and went all the way with it. But unfortunately in life, and this is the point that I really want to stress with the audience is, you have to be able to have the mindset to weather any storm or knock down any wall because every day you wake up it's not going to be a perfect scenario. So May 2010 to May 2011 I lost my 150 pounds, but as they say in life, as I always like to say, you take one step forward, two steps backwards. So we go 2 months later, July 2011, we go to my cousin's wedding in Connecticut. Talked about my dad's liver issues and his health issues. The night of the reception, in the hotel bed, my dad's liver ended up completely blowing out and he ended up dying right in my hands at a freaking hotel bed at a family wedding in Connecticut. And then hold that thought for a second. So you think that's bad? That's in Connecticut. The very next day, we have to do the funeral in Baltimore. Quick turnaround, 500 plus people. I bend over to pick up his casket. I stand up. What do I hear? I hear a pop in my back. I blow out my L3, L4 herniated disc. I have severe sciatica shooting down to my leg, down to my toes. I can't say anything because I'm burying my best friend who I made this promise to. And you want to talk about walls and you want to talk about life not being fair. That's exactly the moment right there. I'm like going back to when I was 405 pounds and 27 years old. Like, what just happened? Like life really isn't fair. Back to back within 24 hours, and I have to go bury my best friend while I have a blown back right now, and I can't. I'm in excruciating pain. Never told anybody that day. I just had to suck it up.
Well, first off, that's what a I mean, I got no other word except traumatic experience of like you're prepping to go to this wedding. You're probably even feeling good going to the wedding. Not on top of it's a wedding, but
Uh-huh.
you're like, oh yeah, I'm down 100 pounds. I'm killing
Yeah,
this. You know?
150. Yeah,
Oh, sorry, yeah, 150
crushing
by
it.
this point.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
crushing. You're like, I'm looking good in this suit. I'm
Yup.
ready to rock out with the fam.
Bounce on my
And then
step and everything.
and then just from the high to the low of that. I
Well,
mean, And he was such a big motivation for you.
He
So
was
then
everything.
coming out of that, what happens to the motivation? Does
Yeah.
it does it strengthen or does it fall apart?
No, I mean, that's a great question, man. So I think the fire that I had burning, it became a spark because in that moment, I've never dealt with anything close to that, right? I mean, look, I mean, I never thought, like you just mentioned, I'm going for a wedding, 24 hours, I'm attending a funeral, right? Think about that. I'm going for a wedding, and 24 hours later, I'm attending a funeral, my father's funeral. So I'm like, man, what happens? Where do we go from here? So I had that blown disc, and we talked about walls. My nickname is the wall breaker, right? So I just kept running away from that wall. So that flame, monster flame, became a slight spark. I was still training, but definitely the motivation definitely was not there as much, right? Because he was gone. Well, what's the point? I did it for him. He's not here anymore. Who cares? So I kept just, I was on, the best term I can tell you was autopilot. I was on autopilot. I was still training. I was still going, not nearly as much as I was. The intensity wasn't there. The focus wasn't there. The concentration wasn't there. The fire wasn't there. So we'll fast forward. That was 2011, 2016. My wife and I get married. So a bit of good news, which is great. November 2016, I'm like, okay, this is awesome. I was like, we'll figure out whatever later on, right? My weight loss journey, because it's been 5 years now. That's probably, instead of putting it in the front of my mind, I put it all the way to the back of my mind. So even my wife was like, man, like, you don't train as hard as you did. So she would drop little sublets here and there, but like we try to like let it go. I was like, look, let's just enjoy marriage and go from there. 2 years go by, try to have a child. Can't have a child. What's going on? We talk about walls. Go see a fertility specialist. Go sit in her office. Doctors, man, they love me. So she takes her chair, she tilts it right at me. She's like, Raheel, I can't 100% explain this, but because of your sperm motility being so abnormally low, you guys can't have a child through natural birth. It's highly unlikely. So the only option that you guys have is through in vitro fertilization, IVF. And you guys got to start like right now because clock is ticking. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, we talked about walls. Now in my heart, in that moment, I felt like, wow, now I'm the wall that my own wife has to go break. That's what I
Yeah,
felt.
and it's not like necessarily your fault, but nonetheless, it feels like it's your fault.
Yeah, of course, because now it's like, my wife was everything, knock on wood, was fully great. She was fully healthy. She was fully functional. It came down to me. I mean, she literally tilted her chair and pointed right at me. So I'm like, okay, well, the journey began. And the people who don't know about in vitro fertilization, the male audience, female audience, it's a monster. Okay. It's a monster financially, emotionally, spiritually. And my wife, I mean, straight up monster, man. I mean, she kept going through it. And I remember a few months going by, she was on the bed, she was throwing up, holding her hair back, bruises all over her body. And I remember her on the bed, and I'm like, listen, man, I don't know how much more you can do out there. Kind of like a trainer talking to a boxer. I'm like, dude, you're taking a beating right now. And the guilt, it was really crushing on me because I felt like it was on me. And I remember her taking her two fingers up in the air and she was pointing it right at her stomach. And she was like, I'm having this baby. And so either you get on the program or not, but I'm having it. And don't ever talk to me about quitting ever again. So in my
That's because
mind,
she's
I'm
a
like,
badass.
right. So in my mind, I'm like, what? I'm like, I just didn't expect that, but that determination, right? I mean, it wasn't underselling her ability or her mentality. It was just I just didn't expect that in that moment. And she was like, I'm doing it no matter what. So then, the journey continued. So, a few months go by, got a call from a doctor saying that we might have some good news. And then November 11, 2019, she did it. She knocked that wall down. We did have our son. Raheel Siddiqui, Rayn. Hopefully you like that version of it. So,
Hell
so,
yeah, hell
yeah, I
yeah.
appreciate it, man. So he was born. He's the love of our lives, and we couldn't be happier. So, we became a family. So it was great. And then on top of that, so we did that. 2 months later, I go back to work because paternity leave is over. So we talk about walls again. I go bend over to tie my shoe. I stand back up in my work garage in the basement. What do I hear? I hear a second pop. I blow out my second herniated disc now, my L5S1. So now I have my L3, L4, my L5S1. And before I turn it to you, this is what I want the audience to really listen to. It took me an hour and a half to drive home, like lying down in my car. I got in the bed, I'm crying my eyes out. And then my wife was like, listen, what are you doing? And in my mind, I'm like, what? And she was like, listen, I know you and I know how much, your training and your ability, your energy, everything about you, it comes from your exercise, your training, like that ferociousness, like that wall breaker that I married, I know that comes from you getting up and doing your morning workouts and hammering it away and just having that personality come out of you. She was like, but you're running away from this wall. you have to go through it. And I think the coldest line was, she was like, just because your dad died, that doesn't mean that the promise died with him.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
that. The coldest line. I mean, it's true though. I mean, first off, respect to her for having like the gumption to call you out on it. Cause like you got it. That's part of love. It's a hard part of love that people don't
No.
always think about is like, it's not just about being supportive in the like, I love you, I don't care or anything. It's also looking you in the face and saying, I know you're better than this.
Yeah,
And that's a
100%.
really hard thing to say to someone you love.
And
Hey,
I
I
was
know
in
you're better than this.
excruciating pain too, man. You got to remember, I'm in excruciating pain at this time too. So I'm not even in the right state of mind right now. I'm just trying to even just get out of bed tomorrow morning without having like shooting pain down my legs, down to my toes. And then, and then the last point she made was, she was like, look, you're a dad now. I cannot have my son with a father in a, God forbid, wheelchair because you are not knocking that wall down. You're running away from it. Let's go. Let's do our research. Let's find a doctor. Let's get a surgery done and let's get this fixed once and for all. So got a great surgeon, greatest surgeon ever. Got a referral through my wife's best friend who's a physician. Got surgery done like the very next week. And then I remember 6 weeks later, and then kudos to my wife again, man, because in those 6 weeks, Will, I mean, she was walking me up the stairs, down the stairs, changing my bandages. My rehab was all just walking. And the doctor was like, when you have back surgery, the one thing you don't want to have is blood clots. Keep him moving at all times. And she was doing it while having a newborn baby, while working a full-time job. So she did all of that for me. 6 weeks go by. I remember the doctor examining my body, looked at me, 3 words, let it out. That's all he said. And dude, I can't tell you, that lion, and if you hear it in my voice, that was caged for so long, that kept running away from his wall, that was scared, that was a wall runner, a wall runner. I don't know what the hell happened to me, but I swear to you, the second he said that, it was like when Logan got the serum the very first time under that water, and he came out of that water with that adamantium pumped up. It's exactly how I felt. And after that moment, from January 2020 to then some. And I think I forgot to mention this part because I had gained more than half of my weight back, during my marriage.
Oh,
So the
shit.
first 150 pounds that I had lost, I had gained more than half of it back, man. So you're talking about 75 to 80 pounds that I had gained. So that weight that I had gained, I was able to rip off all of that. I was able to lose even more. So now I'm down 200 plus pounds. I did get married. I did have a son. I am in the greatest shape of my life. And I tell people all the time, I wouldn't change it for the world, all of it, even losing my dad, because that's my story. That's my journey, right? I needed it. I needed all of it. I didn't even talk about how much I was so bullied when I was a kid too. So many kids were mean to me. Family members and friends were mean to me. Extended family were like, just, they treated me really bad. So life gave me the beating of my life. But as I told people in life, as I tell everybody, life is like boxing. When you get knocked down, the referee gives you 10 seconds to get up, okay? 10 seconds. But the beauty of it is you don't have to get up at 1. You can get up at 9 and still be heavyweight champion of the world.
But you
Just
got to get
get
up.
up. Just get up. And at 9 is when I finally got up in that moment, and I haven't looked back since. And today, I train 2 hours a day, every single day. I am pain-free. I am in the greatest shape of my life. I love it. I mean, I have a drive and a fire inside of me. If you see it, man, I got goosebumps talking about it. Blessed.
It's an incredible story, and I've only heard glimpses of it, so it's amazing to hear all of it at one time. And
Appreciate it.
first and foremost, just I'm happy to see you here. So right off
Thank
the bat,
you.
like if you accomplish nothing else in this life, the fact that you're still here with that type of motivation. But so now you've gone through this transformation, you've gone through the ringer, you've broken all the walls, as you said.
Uh-huh.
So now what? Like now
Yeah.
what's the move? You said you're in the best shape of your life. What's
Yeah.
the new plan? Like, so what are you doing now to keep breaking down walls?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, man. So now now I'm a speaker now. So keynote speaker, motivational speaker. So I go to corporations, I go to schools, events, podcasts with amazing people like yourself. And I really try to teach people the mindset of my wall breaker framework is like, look, it's very simple. I'll tell you the plan. And because I like you, I'll tell you for free. It only takes 10 seconds. You just want to get
Heard it here first. Heard it here. I'm writing it down right now.
Listen, man, those diapers are expensive, man. You're gonna need to save that money for it, though. So I'm trying to do you a favor, man. They go through quick. Amazon's your best friend, so trust me, my brother. I got your back. But honestly, it's very simple. My framework is very simple, and it's true. It's point A to point B. How do we go from point A to point B? because that's all we want to do is to get from point A to point B. But you're always going to have one big wall or 100 walls in front of you. It's up to you and you alone. You either got to run away from those walls or you got to go through every single wall to get to point B. But I promise you this, no matter how hard it is, no matter how much you feel like giving up, no matter how much you feel like quitting, no matter how dark the tunnel is, just keep getting up every single day. Take that shoulder and keep ramming it against that wall, because when you get to point B, whatever point B is, whatever that dream, whatever that greatness, whatever that achievement is, it is the most beautiful feeling ever. Listen, I had to literally have my wife tell me that she was having our child. We weren't even pregnant yet, but all she saw was point B. When she was holding my son in the hospital that day, and like they did their skin to skin contact, and I can't wait for you to see that too. I mean, I was literally like in tears. I'm like, man, like you did it. Like you did it. Right. And that was the most beautiful feeling ever. Everything that she endured. I don't even care about my story. I care about her story that much more, as you can
Right.
tell. Right. So
No.
for her to knock that wall down and go hold our child after everything that she endured for a year, I mean, it was absolutely incredible. And like, yeah, I mean, kudos to anyone out there. And I guess if we're going to use my example, it's, I just thank everybody along the way. And, do I wish my father was here? Of course I do. But do I want to change anything? And I think this is the key point I want to leave to the audience. No, I don't think you should change your past because it made me who I am. If you are at rock bottom right now, I promise you, I know you could look at it one of two ways. One, you're at rock bottom. It's the worst feeling ever. Or two, find a way to tell yourself, you know what? This is the best time of my life, because I'm telling you right now, when you're at rock bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. Right. When I was at rock bottom, I had nowhere else to go but up. And I want to teach people that mindset, man, that no matter how far you've fallen, no matter how dark the tunnel is, no matter how big that wall is, I promise you, if you can find a way to chase the work and get after it every single day, the results will come. Don't worry about results. Don't worry about comparing yourself to anybody else. Don't worry about timelines and pressure or XYZ. Just stay in your lane and focus. And I promise you, you will get there. So that is what's next. I really love going around speaking on multiple platforms everywhere, teaching this framework to everybody that any wall in your life can be broken.
Hell yes. You got me hyped up. I'm ready to run through. I'm ready to do Wolverine right now. I mean, like,
Always, brother, always, man.
I'm like,
man. I was
I'm
on
in.
fire today on that tread, dude. I did 5, I did curls, I did shoulders because I was so fired up to be on your show, man. So I was ready,
Hell
man.
yeah.
I train hard, man. I train hard every day, like Kobe said, man. Train till exhaustion, and then Kobe, another great line. I mean, it truly is. It's not the destination; it's the journey. You really got to appreciate all of it, man. The highs, the lows, all of it, because that's what makes you who you are. I just feel like I have this unstoppable force inside of me that every day I get up, it's either, I know I'm quoting him a lot, but it's true. I love the line that Kobe said, man. If lions, either you run with me or you run from me. You run with me or you run from me. And that's how I feel. If you're a wall, I'm going to go right through you. Okay. And I tell people this all the time, Will.
Go through you like Kobe went through Pau Gasol's chest in the Olympics.
Right through his chest. Right. Exactly. And I tell people all the time this. Look, people use the term, oh, I went through hell. I went through hell. I'm going through hell. I tell people all the time, listen, I get it. But if you can adopt this mindset of, listen, I know what hell is like. I didn't just go through hell. I burned in hell. But here's the difference now. I know if you try to put me back in hell, I'm going to burn the whole goddamn place down because I'm ready. I'm built for it, okay? I know what I've been through. And I promise any of you out there, whatever you're going through now, you can have that same mindset too. I promise you, man. You're talking to a guy who was told he was going to be dead in 13 years. Knock on wood, I don't know how much time I have left. The first 43 years of my life are guaranteed because I'm talking to you right now. The next 43 aren't. But I promise you, I'm going to give all of me every single day as best as I possibly can, because I want to help people. I want to help them understand you can be a wall breaker too. You can take your shoulder and knock that wall down. And if you don't use me as an example, use my wife. I mean, you can't find a better example than her. Yeah.
That's how I feel about mine. Every time I think like I'm a badass, then I watch her do something and I'm like, all right, well, I gotta step it up. And that's
You
the funny
are,
part,
man.
right?
You are, man. You're amazing. Hell yeah, dude. I mean, seriously.
I mean, no, I appreciate it, but it's like it's so funny because like I see that especially in today's world of a lot of different challenges on masculinity and such, and it's so funny because guys look at it from a women's perspective and like wanting to be better. Like, no, if my wife's killing it, then that just motivates me. That
Yeah.
doesn't make me feel small. It's like, yo, I gotta level my shit up.
100%. 100%. And I think that's what we're missing today, man. I think it's we as a society, and that's why I really love to speak to everybody out there. It's, you know, I don't want people to think that wherever you are right now, financially, in a relationship, weight, health, I mean, whatever the biggest core problem is, I don't want you to think that this is it. Listen, I was 405 pounds. I could have just been like, all right, I got 13 years left. Let's go make the most of it. Cabo, you want to go,
Right?
Tahiti, Tulum, whatever, man. If this
It's
is
your
really
life.
it
You get to do what you want.
that's what I'm saying. If this is really it for me and I only have 13 years left, yeah, sure, right? I mean, like I could have adopted that mindset, or I could have been like, you know what? No, man, like this ain't for me. I don't want to be a challenger anymore. I want to be champion. I want to be heavyweight champion of the world, right? I don't want to be a guy that's a number one contender every single time, because when you're a number one contender, that's the beauty of it. You're hungry, right? You want to be champion, but then it's like when you become champion of the world, and we could talk about this even deeper because this is what another element that I coach people. It's, well, what's next when you become heavyweight champion of the world, right? And
Right.
it's the mindset of, when you become heavyweight champion. Piggyback into your first question about what's next. It's, listen, I love the way I look. I love the way I feel when I look when I wake up every day. And you have to change the mindset of, I'm not the hunted anymore. I'm the hunter, right? And I think that's what I want people to understand is, I love everything about how I've built my body and my mindset. I'm not giving this back up now. So I'm going to do whatever it takes, God willing, as long as I'm healthy, to keep that mindset. If I can give a quick example to you, it's I was watching The Last Dance, Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, and then also he talked about, like they asked him, like, Michael, you won 5 rings. You're going into the championship 6 against Utah, second time facing them. You know, what was the motivation going into that XYZ? And I remember this scene so vividly. He just handed the iPad back and he was like, Karl Malone winning MVP. And that's all I needed. That's it. Right. I mean, you could tell how pissed he was that Karl Malone had his MVP from him. The guy had 5 rings going on 6. And what happened? You cross up Russell, last shot as a Bull in Utah with the whole world watching, bam, 6 rings. And I just spoke at a leadership conference too. I had the picture of Michael holding that trophy when he's crying his eyes out, holding the trophy. If you know the iconic picture of him with his
Hmm.
dad next to him. And I asked the leadership conferences too, I was like, what do you guys see when you see this picture? They see a champion. They see this, they see that, Jordan, XYZ. I was like, you know what I see? I see a guy that lost for 7 years to go break that wall. He finally broke that wall. He went from point A, broke every wall of getting his ass kicked for 7 years, finally broke that wall, got to point B. He held that trophy. Now, right there in that mindset, we talked about what's next. 2 things happened in that moment. One, Michael Jordan could have been like, you know what? I finally made it to the top. I became champion. I can just ride off into the sunset now and just play basketball, put it on autopilot. Or option B, you know what? I love being here and I love winning and I'm never going to lose again. And he never lost as a Bull again. And he won 6 straight, never lost. And he was like, you thought that you guys are going to come after my title? No, I'm the hunter. I'm coming after all of y'all. And mind you, this pains me to say this because I'm a Knicks fan, so he didn't let my Knicks win in the 90s either. So it really hurts me saying this. But the fact that the guy couldn't let us get one freaking championship, it still boils my blood. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, Mike, you couldn't have given us one. But he won, think about that for a second. He won 6 straight. He never lost as a Bull ever again. That's the mindset that I want to tell people. It's exactly, you hit it on the head. And I love that you answered this question, man. That's why you're so amazing. It's don't settle. What's next, right? Even for me, it's like I always find opportunities to tell myself ways to get better, right? I want to get, whether it's I want to get better abs or I want to stay in the shape that I'm in. I want to be healthier. I want to be stronger. My son is 6. Listen, my son is 6, but I mean, we like fight and scrap and play like he's like 16. I mean, the guy knows like more sports than like, half of my friends do. He'll talk about like stats and like fighting and boxing, and we'll throw the football around. And my wife is yelling at both of us to go to bed, not just one of us. And he's like, and he'll tell me like, "Mommy, daddy, is mama yelling at me or at you or at both of us?" I'm like, I don't know, because we're like
I'm
still
the
like,
adult here. It's me.
exactly. So it's like, I want to be that for him. Like, he doesn't look at daddy as, okay, the guy that I was at 405 pounds. He looks at his daddy as like the Incredible Hulk. I love being in that energetic, just that energy, mind centric focus, that wall breaker that I am. Everything that my wife talked about that day in the bed when I was crying my eyes out with my second herniated disc, she was like, I know you. Like, I know what you want to be. And she was exactly on the money. And that's right now. And I want to keep that going. I want that mindset going because, I tell people this all the time. It's, if I can ask a question too, I get this question all the time. I can even ask you this too. If somebody were to ask you, like, what's the most important part of your life? What's what's the answer to that you would say? The most important part of your life right now.
My relationship with my wife.
So family, right?
Yeah.
That goes into the family bucket, right?
Yeah.
So when people ask me this question, they were like, what's the most important part of your life? I say, you know what? I say my training and then my family. They're side by side, okay? Neck and neck. Health, training, and family. Shaq and Kobe. Shaq and Kobe. You're not winning 3 rings without either one of them. Montana, Rice, Jordan, Pippen, whatever. And hear me out for a second. The reason why I say that they're side by side is because every day I leave the gym and I put in my hard training, 2 hours. I'm drenched in sweat. I take my cold shower and I'm ready to start my day. Now, my family, they get the absolute best version of me. If I was the guy that was 27 years old and 405 pounds, let's just say if I was married and had kids then, I can't say that my family is the most important part of my life if I'm not mentally and physically in the best shape of my life, of myself for them, right? I need to be the best version of myself for them. So this is advice for a lot of people out there, men, women, etc. I promise you, I know we give and we give and we give a lot to our spouses, to our kids, to our colleagues, to our cousins, our siblings, XYZ. But if you want to be the best version for them, especially your family, find a way to be the best version of you first. Take time out for you first. And that goes for the mothers as much as the fathers. Listen, my wife all the time is like, hey, I want to do this. I want to go for a walk. I want to, even social aspect too. Okay. Hey, my girls and I want to go hang out. Done. Go for it. No problem. She knows 5:30, 6 o'clock where the hammer is going. Okay. She knows that's my time and my time alone. Because if you want the best husband, the best father, I got to go be the best version of myself for me. And even if I want to hang out with my friends, guys night here and there, once in a while, go do it, man. Because if you want to be the best version for your family and everyone else we talked about, you gotta be the best version of yourself. You are no good to your loved ones if you are not the healthiest, okay? I'm stressing the word healthiest, the healthiest version of you to give for them. Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. It's one of those things that I tell friends and family all the time is like, look, I can't be anything if I'm not this for her. Like, exactly. On a small bit, like I tend to be a more social person and she's a bit more introverted in that way, my wife. And one of the things that we talk about is like, so I have nights where like I'll just go out on my own to like go to dinner and like and talk to people and be around it. And it's like you get to have your night where you get to truly talk to no one, get to recharge, be what you want, read a book, whatever it is you're feeling. But I'll go be social because I need that too. Because if I'm cooped up in the house too long, then I'm not my best version of myself. And for her, if I drag her out everywhere all the time that she doesn't necessarily want to be, she doesn't get to be the best version of herself.
Exactly.
And so it's
it starts with you first, you meaning the individual, right? Like you have to find a way to tell yourself mentally and physically, I need to be the best version of myself. And again, it's whatever that is, right? I mean, like, and I just use the word health because again, health is overall health, right? Mentally, physically,
mental health, physical.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, as long as you're in that healthy space of, okay, man, like this is the healthiest that I am feeling right now, then I know I'm the best version of me. Now I can give you the best version of me every single time. So every day I leave that gym, that's how I feel, man. I feel like, man, now you're getting the best husband, the best father, the best everything, right? Versus the guy that was broken and completely scarred and damaged and 405 pounds and was like a deer in headlights, didn't know what he was doing with his life, had nowhere to go, had no drive, had no fire, no ambition, no structure, no discipline, no motivation. But knock on wood, we've made some progress and here we are, man. So I just want to keep building on that. You know what I mean? I want to help people understand that process.
I love it. I love it, man. Look, I can keep doing this for hours and hours, and you're always welcome back because I want to have a part two to this conversation. But
Yeah.
as we're kind of wrapping things up for at least this episode,
Yep.
if there is one thing that you could go back to that 405-pound guy before this all began, before you're breaking walls, before any of that stuff,
Yep.
what is one piece of advice you wish you could give him?
Yeah, for sure. Is that, the piece of advice that I would give him is it doesn't have to end right here. This doesn't have to be the end of you. This isn't the end of your story. You still have time. The most beautiful part about falling is what? Is coming back up, is getting back up, right? I mean, I tell people all the time, Rocky Balboa, I mean, what's the beauty of him? He went the distance with Apollo in part one. That's all he cared about was the distance. Part two, he didn't fight because his wife was scared for his life, right? But man, the second that scene when she wakes out of the coma and she's like, win, right? I mean, I'm getting juiced up talking about it. That's exactly what I would tell that guy. Honestly, if I could even sum it up in one word, win, right? Go win, right? And I think, and whatever
Go
that element
win.
is in your life, right? Go win. It's not the end of you. You can go win. And that's my message to all of you. Win. I mean, it doesn't have to be on anyone else's timeline. It could be on your timeline. I would tell that 405 broken kid at 27 years old, win. And I promise you, man, like if you can find a way to truly buy in, I mean, here we are. Here are you and I right now, right?
That's what I love to hear. We get that here and here, guys. Just go win. Just
Yeah,
go win. Even if it's a small win,
that's it.
win. And
And
it
honestly,
compounds.
and I'm gonna tell you something really quick, man. Really, and I want you to, because this is all out of love. I know you said that I lost 200 plus. I think you said about 30 plus, right?
Yep.
And I think you had mentioned like, oh, it might not have been as much as I have. Dude, I don't care. I wanna be very clear. Everyone has their own greatness. What you did, I don't care how much weight you lost. If you lost a pound or two, that's still greatness. Okay. Whatever you did, it's still greatness. So I don't want you to not saying that you were comparing or selling yourself short. And I love
Sure.
you for being so kind and being so amazing. But I'm trying to tell you that what you did is phenomenal. And 75% of America can't do what you even just did. Right. I mean, that's why our obesity rate is so high right now because people can't do what they did. So whatever you did, whatever you were doing, my brother, you're a beautiful person inside and out. I love the hell out of you already. And I've only met you but for so long. And whatever your accomplishments were, I can already tell you're going to be an amazing father. So whatever you're doing right now, whatever you did, it's beautiful. It's amazing. It's greatness. You're winning. Okay. You're winning. So don't worry about me or anyone else. I hope
No,
I was allowed to say that.
no, you're 100% allowed to say that. It's
Okay.
comparison's the thief of joy, and so I'm with it 100%, my friend. So,
Yeah.
all right, with that, Raheel, where can people find you? Where can they learn more about you? Tell everybody where you're at.
Yeah, please, man. Yeah, Raheel the Speaker. Very simple. My Instagram handle at Raheel the Speaker. My website just launched. PSA Raheel the Speaker, man. So go ahead and give me a follow. And if any organizers are out there that would love me to come and speak to your organization, please book me to speak. Podcasts, please book me. I love to do this. I love to help out. I love to speak, and I love to help people break walls. So at Raheel the Speaker on IG, Raheel the Speaker website. Pretty simple, I think.
No, you got it, man. You got it,
Yes,
man. I
sir.
appreciate it. Well, as always, be kind to each other, and as Raheel just told me, be kind to myself.
Yes.
And we'll see you all next time.
Thank you.